In this video, we are specifically going to look at how to calculate a weighted mean. So a weighted mean is what is used in most classes, be it high school or college, in order to calculate your grades. And that's dependent on the different categories that you would have in your class. For the purposes of this example, we are looking at having weighted grades from a final exam, a midterm, unit exams, homework, and discussion boards. And the distribution is broken down as follows. Your final exam is 25%, midterm exam is 20%, and so on and so forth. Okay, so that's kind of in general. Now what I have here is I have basically one example where we're going to look at two different ideas behind your weighted mean. So the example says that Jeremy's math teacher has the following categories that will make up his grade: homework, unit tests, and final exam. If the homework grade is 98%, the unit test is 81%, and the final exam is 83%, what is the mean of the three categories? So here, the first thing that you want to do is you want to change percent to a decimal. So here I have 98%. If you divide by 100, that's going to give you 0.98. 81% is going to be 0.81. And 83 is 0.83. Since I have three test categories, I'm going to divide this by 3. So in this case, we're going to end up with 2.62 divided by 3, which gives me 0.873. Since we converted from percent to decimal in the beginning, we're going to convert back, which gives you 87.3%. Now this last part, it says his teacher assigns different weights to each category. Homework is 20%, unit tests are 55, and the final exam is 25. Find Jeremy's grade using the weighted mean, round to the nearest tenth. So here, we already know from the previous problem up here what his grades were in those categories. So when we are looking at homework, we have 20%. Again, we want to convert percent to decimal. So we would have 0.20 times my homework grade, which was the 98%. We are then going to add that to the next category, which is 55%, so 0.55. And that was unit tests, which Jeremy had 0.81 in it. And the last is your final exam, so 0.25. And we had an 83, so 0.83. So we're going to add all of those together, and in doing so, you're going to come out with 0.849. Again, because we converted to a decimal in the beginning, we got to change it back. So this means he's going to have an 84.9% as his weighted grade. Now, along with weighted grade, we can have what's called a weighted GPA. Now again, this is used by most high schools, elementary schools, and colleges. And essentially what it does is it assigns a point system to the GPA that you receive, to basically to the letter grades that you get in your classes. The way that it works is the first thing you would want to do is find out at whatever school you're at what the point scale is. Okay, for example, here at Savannah Tech, we use a 4-point scale. So A's are 4 points, B's are 3, C's are 2, D's 1, F is 0. Then you want to follow these few small steps in order to actually calculate your GPA. And this would be considered a rough calculation. So the first thing you want to do is you want to figure out how many credit hours were attempted. So you want to look at your semester, and you can look at the class you're taking and how many credit hours that class is worth, and you want to figure out how many total credit hours you took in a single semester. You then want to look at the grade points earned. Okay, so you'll have to do this for each. And finally, you'll take the sum of the grade points earned divided by the total credit hours. So I have an example here. Let's go ahead and take a look at that real quick. So here we want to determine the weighted GPA for the following grades. Use the 4.0 system. So here we have a table that gives you course grade and course hours. So the first thing that, again, we want to look at is we want to look at the total credit hours attempted. And that's where you want to add up your credit hour or course hour column. And so this is going to give you 15 credit hours. 4 plus 5 plus 3 plus 3. The next thing you want to do is you want to find your grade points. So we're going to look at each individual. So first and foremost, we would have A plus your B plus C's plus D's plus F's. So in this case, when we are looking at all of this, in terms of A's, I attempted 3 credit hours, and A's are worth 4 points each. For my B's, I attempted 4 credit hours at 3 points each. C's attempted 5 credit hours at 2 points each. D's attempted no credit hours at 1 point each, and F's were 3 credit hours at no points each. So here, what we actually get is that 4 times 3 is 12, 12, 10, 0, and 0. So here you have 12 plus 12 plus 10 is going to give me 34 points. So in this case, my weighted GPA is going to be my 34, or the number of points, divided by the number of hours, 15. So in this case, we end up with a 2.267. At that point, you would look and see if you're asked to round, and in this case, you want the nearest tenth. So your GPA would be a 2.3. And that's all there is to it. Alright, so if you have any questions about how to calculate weighted grades, either by calculating a weighted average or by calculating a weighted GPA, please let me know. Otherwise, I do hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.